So it's been a while since I've done, more or less, the whole non-comic thing, where I take, basically a comic book team, and basically if it was redone with characters outside of comic books. And this one was actually inspired by, my friend, the Mount Vernon kid, he does these too. He did one out of a request called Non-Comic Four Horsemen Team. So I was like, okay, Chris, I want to do this. So, yeah. Basically, what if Apocalypse found four characters from, non-comic universes and made them into his four horsemen? Now, keep in mind, this is just these are my personal picks for characters I think would make great horsemen, and yeah, I always want to see what you guys come up with. So, in the comments below, you guys can tell me what four characters you would make into the four horsemen. But anyway, so yeah, without further ado, let's get started with the four horsemen of Apocalypse. So, first off, is Jason Voorhees as Famine. Yeah, Jason would become Famine. I think if good old En Sabah Nur ever found if he found Jason, he would be and saw just how unstoppable he could be. I think he would want to augment him and kind of if he found he'd probably find Cyber Jason. I don't call him Uber Jason because that's stupid. Even though that's the canon name, I just call him Mecha or Cyber Jason. But yeah, he would probably make him that, but make him 10 times stronger. So, and why the Horseman of Famine? No reason really. I mean, there are some characters that in the comic book past that were Apocalypse made them into horsemen, and it was like, why'd that one become such and such? It's kind of like when Sunspot became Famine. No other reason other than he just became a horseman. Anyway. So getting back on track, yeah, Jason would he has just that raw, mindless killing, he's just this raw, mindless killing machine that I think En Sabah Nur would definitely look at Jason and be like, okay, I can not only control him, but I can turn him on my enemies, and since he's so mindless, I can easily manipulate him and use his strength against my enemies. So that's probably what he would go for with Jason. So yeah, Jason as the Horseman of Famine. Following that is the Horseman of Pestilence. Yep, Nightmare from Soul Calibur. Now, Nightmare would definitely be another character I think, Apocalypse would look at and definitely see just the raw power he has, and definitely be like, all right, I want him under my control. I want this great power of Soul Edge and its wielder under my power. So just imagine that for a second. Apocalypse is already pretty powerful. Let's keep that in mind. He can easily, genetically and cybernetically augment, Nightmare, already a mystical being, and just kind of take that even further. Imagine that kind of power. You guys already know how powerful Nightmare is as a character himself. You guys already know he's already a powerhouse to be reckoned with. So, yeah, add that with the technology Apocalypse has under his command, under his control, and it's something terrible. It would be, just he would be a real Nightmare. Probably a little harder to control, though. Nightmare is an extension of Soul Edge, and I sincerely doubt Soul Edge would want to be manipulated like that, It wouldn't probably like the idea of being manipulated, as a puppet to somebody else. So, might be a little harder to control, but as long as he can feed on souls, I think Nightmare would be satisfied. So yeah, Nightmare as the Horseman of Pestilence. So next up, the Horseman of War. Yeah. Was there any other better choice than Kratos from God of War? I mean, hell, he is the God of War, so yeah. Apocalypse would definitely want to use Kratos' rage and power to better service him. Yeah, basically have the actual God of War under his control. And you're probably thinking, well, he'd be too powerful for Apocalypse. The dude's controlled the Hulk. Granted, it didn't take long, but yeah, he has managed to control the Hulk. And in some universes, he's managed to mind control and take over the likes of Thor. And hell, when the Apocalypse twins came back, they actually had, during the whole Uncanny Avengers story, they brought back, Sentry, who was a powerhouse who could kill, basically killed Ares. So, yeah. So I could see Apocalypse looking at Kratos and being like, look, you got all this power, and, you want to kill the gods, you want to destroy everything in your path. I can make you a true a true being of war. So he'd probably manipulate Kratos to work for him, so long as Kratos got his revenge on Zeus and the other gods. So yeah, Kratos would be another difficult being to control for Apocalypse. I think it would be another difficult task for him to manipulate Apocalypse. But I think it would be I think as long as he could keep Kratos' rage focused on, the gods and all of Apocalypse's enemies, I think it would probably work better in his case. So yeah, Kratos as the Horseman of War. And finally, the Horseman of Death, Darth Vader. Yeah. Darth Vader as the Horseman of Death. I could definitely, again, with the likes of Kratos and Nightmare, Vader would be another difficult one to control, but I think, like I said with Kratos, as long as Apocalypse kept Vader's rage focused on, as long as he kept his rage focused on his enemies and, Apocalypse's enemies, I think he could control it. He could control Vader. Now, Vader would, Vader's already powerful, his armor's pretty tough, he's got, he's very inclined with the Force, and of course is pretty powerful, his lightsaber's no joke either. So, just imagine, all of that augmented with Apocalypse's tech. Could you imagine how much damage he could deal out with Apocalypse's tech? Not only that, I forgot to mention this earlier, but imagine Kratos with that kind of power. Just imagine how powerful... Kratos is already pretty powerful, but imagine if he was taken over by... if he had that kind of tech augmented that Apocalypse has. So, you're looking at some pretty dangerous people right here. Yeah. So, these guys, Apocalypse would definitely have some, pretty dangerous horsemen right here. All of them full of rage, all of them full of so much hate, and like I said, as long as Apocalypse keeps that rage and hatred focused on somebody else that's other than him, he could probably keep these four in line. But anyway, so you guys tell me, if you could make a non-comic four horseman team for Apocalypse, who would it be? Who would you pick, outside of comic books, keep that in mind. So, who would you pick to be a non-comic team of four horsemen for Apocalypse? And once again, I hope you all enjoyed this, and also, go check out my good friend Mount Vernon Kid's channel, and you can see his four picks. I will say that, I don't want to spoil them, but I will say they're all video game characters. Not to say that's bad, just wanted to have a little hint of what they are. So, anyway, once again, really excited to see what you guys come up with for this one, and I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.